Hi friends, I am so excited. I've been playing around with sewing, with stitchy cases, not sewing cases, but stitchy cases. And I made two. I made this one out of a jewelry box. And if I can find, I took a picture when I ripped out this part. So I'll put that here. I also will find when I showed this to you and I bought it, because I did not take a picture before I took apart this part. But this is a jewelry case, so it just looks like that. And then this is an eyeglasses case, just one of those cheapy ones from online. And in my mind, this one is like if I go to stitch at my beer garden with my friend for Granny Craft Club. And then this one is for if I go away and, you know, pack this in my bag. So I want to take you through them. So first I'll take you through my sewing themed one. And it's small, but it's like nice and compact. You can just throw it in your cross stitch bag, which is awesome. It has a little place for scissors, obviously, and this unties. So you can take your scissors out, right? And then the little place for the point so that it doesn't fall. So there's that. You can fit a pen in, which I did. This is just felt, and so that's kind of like a little orc catcher. And then you'll be like, Christy, what is this spool? Friends, I made the tiniest little pin cushion out of one of my spools, and I put a little magnet on it, and there's a little magnet here. So this could be, you could just put your needles like that, or this will sit there and not come off. That to me was a stroke of genius. But when you're working, you know, sometimes you just want to stick your needles into something as opposed to have, I stitch in hand, so I don't use a needle minder, but sometimes you just want to, like, you know, stick the needle in something. And so I made this tiny little pin cushion. It's just one of my little spools with some batting and fabric shoved through, and then I put this needle on, not the needle, this magnet on the bottom so that it'll stay put. And when you're traveling, you can't leave the needles in, so you just put the needles like that and they sit on top. Let's tie this up. Oh my god, I love this one so much. Oh, and I added a little button here. So I have a little button here. I have my little sewing bobbin themed. That's where I got this idea from. And then I just put a little lace trim around it. And it looks janky. Like, I totally know it looks janky, but I tried tons of different ways to do this. And I have more cases that I think I'm going to do a tutorial for my patrons. And I'm so excited. So let's put this back on. And I'll show you my other one. And I love it because it's sort of just big enough to fit a pen. You can close it up. It's not, things aren't moving around too much. They're all kind of staying where they're supposed to be. Oops, I didn't put it in. Duh. We'll try this again. And we'll actually put it in the little pocket where it's supposed to go. Okay, now it's ready. I decided to do sort of minimum stuff here because this is just for a couple hours out of the house. You know, it's going with a project, so you won't have a ton of needles, because I don't know about you, but I use one needle in a project. I have a particular size that I like, and I use one needle in a project. But isn't that great? I love it. I kind of want to cover this top with something, but I didn't have the energy to do that, and this is great the way it is. Okay, now let's talk about my Golden Girls themed my Golden Girls themed case here. This became way more difficult than it needed to be because I'll show the original here, at least the picture that I know I have. This top here had these, like, you know, those rivets sticking out. That was where you put in those like bands, right? And I wanted to pull, well, I actually kind of wanted to keep the bands, but I wanted to take off the pink fabric, and then I found this Golden Girls fabric, and it was too perfect, and it just made me happy. And so I took off the fabric, but I realized that the rivets were attached to another piece of plastic. And so, and it was buckling. It, you know, you could push it and there was air underneath it. So I cut around that other piece of plastic and ripped it out, and it actually cracked. I don't know if you can see, like right here, there's like a divot. It cracked the case. So then I had to like find other plastic and I affixed it there anyway. So I had to like remake this top. So it took way longer than it needed to, but it turned out fine. So let's go through this, okay? I just want to go through this with you. So first of all, I have this large area here, and this is the original fabric, and it this is sort of an orc catcher. It's not as good as felt, but it's a good enough orc catcher. So I am using that. And these are my magnifiers, and they fit in there, and this little pen fits in there. So that's that. I have this little needle minder, which I think is super cute, that I think I made. There's a magnet right here, but I thought that that was just too perfect. So I put that little needle minder there. And again, I don't use needle minders, but I just really like it. I have, these were the original like ring holders where you put your rings. And so I just kept 2 of them and am using them as like a pin cushion again, because sometimes you just want to like stick your pins somewhere. Then I have some counting pins because I'm terrible at counting. And so that's, and then these are the original dividers. Again, it looks super janky. Like, I know it looks super janky, but I am completely not worried about that because this is for me. And then I reused, there was a bag here that I thought I wanted for an orc catcher, but it was huge. It just took up so much space. And sometimes you just want to just like put things down. And so that's why we did that. But I used that bag and I made a little pocket. And so in my pocket, I have a seam ripper, I have lens cleaning wipes, and I have a corner gauge there. That's what I have in there. I made a little needle book, and I happen to have this pin from a local artist, did a pin of all of the ladies. And so I made myself a little needle book. These are my cross stitch needles, and these are my embroidery needles. And then I just have a little button. And this is not tight. It's just so that when I close it, it doesn't all fly open. And then again, I have a little a tie for my scissors. And then I have a little loop here to catch the bottom. And this is what it looks like. And so you have, you know, you have the ladies, you have the girls in there, and you have the girls in here. And this is the kind of thing where you can put more things in here if, you know, I can put more things in here if I need to. But because this is like a long-term Stitchy box, I put this needle book in order to give myself more options. Oh, and then I also have like a frogger. I use these sort of really large tapestry needles for frogging. Anyway, I'm really pleased with it. Again, it's janky, but it's just for me. Like, I'm not selling this. And it looks great. I used some blue bias tape to cover up the janky edges, so that worked really well. How cute are these? I'm sorry. I'm really proud of these. I have to be honest with you. It took me like 2 days to make them, but I think that they're really effective and they'll be really useful. And I'm going to make another one of these on camera in the next couple weeks for my patrons. Because I'm on Patreon if anyone cares. And I do history and Stitchy stuff. And I think a nice tutorial for this would be nice. And the nice thing about these is that, I don't know about you, anyone who wears glasses, you just end up with like thousands of these and you want to do something with them, but you don't know what. Anyway, and then they close up. This one zips. And you make sure you don't get the ribbon caught. And then you can shake it all around in your bag. and then open it up, and things are basically where they were. So same with this, you can shake it up, open it up, and things are where they were. I love it. I love it so much. Like, I can't even express. I hope you love it too. Oh, here, I'll open this up too. I hope you love them too. And if you're interested in, my glass keeps moving. If you're interested in making one of these, I will put a tutorial, like I said, on my Patreon in the next couple weeks, and you can check that out there. Otherwise, I will see you in my next Flosstube. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.